it can be. And that opponent is nothing but in my way.
Right.
To me being as great as I can be. And that's, boy, if you got that working, if you can flick that switch in you, howdy.
Well, in your own life, because this is something I think about a lot. I think about confidence and ego, right? And I've always had a tough time knowing what my feelings are. Like when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of feelings, I think, and so I didn't know what a lot of them were.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten older, it's like
you didn't have feelings. Or when you had feelings, you just didn't know what the hell.
I
they
didn't
were
know
about.
what they were, so I couldn't tell if I was like have like instincts or uncertain, like what was like when it was making decisions, I couldn't tell what was instinctual or what was me making a choice. I just didn't have a lot of feelings when I was young. And so it was kind of like a late bloomer in some of those worlds. But one of the things I struggle with sometimes still is just like ego and confidence,
Yeah.
How do you know, what I'm saying? Because one can be super dangerous. One is healthy.
Well, look, man, I think ego's gotten a bad rap. This, elimination of the ego, there's a difference to going, I have confidence. I have confidence. Then there is, oh, look at me. The difference between I and me. Me's the objective one, right? Me's that Jumbotron,
right.
The lawyer one where you're going like, oh yeah, how do I look? I look good. There's where I get my confidence from something I saw myself outside of myself. Confidence with the I, which I think is true ego, when we handle it right, is I think extremely healthy. I mean, man, it's like judgment. You got to have judgment, or you have no identity. And where do you get judgment from? Well, part of that, I believe, is part of the ego of I am discerning because I prefer this over that. I expect this more than I expect that.
Experiences,
for myself or from others. Now, ego can get out of check when it gets into the look at me.
Yeah.
But when it's coming from the subjective place of like, no, I'm prepared for this. This is what I'm fashioned to do. I have the ability. I'm capable, and I'm willing. I'm going to go do that. And no one's going to judge myself harder than I'm going to judge myself because I believe what I am capable of doing. I mean, look, I wrote about this in Greenlight since a little bit in Poems and Prayers. These roofs, these limitations we put on ourselves, we make those up. And that's a cocky ass thing to do. Who do we think we are?
To put limitations
to put these roofs on our ability if we have that ability. Now we get into what's humility. Humility, which is a word I had trouble with because growing up, especially in religion, humility, I always kind of cowered. My head kind of, my shoulders came forward, my head kind of got down, and I didn't know how to have confidence with humility. How do you have confidence and be humble? And then I heard a new definition of humility or being humble, admitting that we have more to learn. Now that definition, all of a sudden my shoulders backed up, my head went high. I said, oh, I can dig that. I'm in. I have more to learn.
Because that's an active humility kind of.
Now I'm going forward. It's affirmative.
Right.
I can still be graceful and still be empathetic and listen, but I'm not.
And it's retreating. Like
I'm not,
Yes.
I'm not being passive necessarily. I think we got to have a healthy ego.
An empowering taking on of knowledge and admitting you have more to learn.
Yeah.
It
was a freeing, sometimes a definition of a word for me, like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Now I understand it.
Yeah.